All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The time has come for the 23-year anniversary of WrestleMania 18. One of my favorite WrestleManias of all time, and the WrestleMania that I grew up with. So, without further ado, let's do this shit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, due to YouTube's bullshit copyright rules, I will not be playing the whole entire, the songs and stuff that's performed by both Saliva and Drowning Pool. So keep those in mind. So yeah, WrestleMania 18 started off with Saliva performing their first hit song, Superstar, and shows a montage of all the matches that I will be ranking and let alone reviewing later on towards this video. So, yeah. But as far as performances, they count as a ranking too. So, 10 out of 10 for Saliva Superstar. Rob Van Dam versus William Regal. Alrighty then. The match starts off with Rob Van Dam versus William Regal. Remind you, this is Rob Van Dam's first WrestleMania. So this was Rob Van Dam's first WrestleMania. So they duke it out, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. This time, well, usually William Regal didn't bring the brass knuckles or anything. So that's a plus. But Rob Van Dam outsmarted William Regal with his typical signature moves like the Rolling Thunder, Van Daminator, and even the 5-star Frog Splash. Then pins William Regal with the 1, 2, and 3 to become the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, so Rob Van Dam not only debuted on his first WrestleMania, but he actually won. So, yeah. As far as the match goes, pretty good. Not bad. So, I'll give this match a 10 out of 10. Next, Diamond Dallas Page versus Christian. Alright, before the match even started, Christian decides to be a part of the interview while doing that retarded look on his face. I mean, it was just weird, but funny at the same time. I might show it to y'all by the end of WrestleMania 18. Or you can see Christian Miracle's video for details about the retarded look on Christian's face. Yeah, see Christian Miracle's video for details. But anyway, on to the match. It was for the European Championship. So, Christian tried his very best to surpass his, mentor, which is Diamond Dallas Page. But towards the end of the match, Diamond Dallas Page is still your European champion. Instead of Christian, sportsmanship and stuff like that, he decides to throw a temper tantrum. Yeah, a grown-ass man doing a temper tantrum. Remind you, this is the Christian that... this is the Christian that everybody knows compared to the Christian you're looking at now. Talking about people, dead fathers and stuff like that. That was way before AEW, so, yeah. But anywho's, bottom line, Diamond Dallas Page is still the European champion. Christian throws a temper tantrum, and that's basically it. On to the next match.
But wait, there's more.
Before the next match even began, we come across Jonathan the Coachman doing an interview with The Rock, but The Rock, on the other hand, made Jonathan the Coachman The Rock's bitch by taking over the interview while spreading a message to Hollywood Hulk Hogan about him being the better icon, which I'll come across that later on in this video. So, yeah. Maven versus Goldust. Alrighty then, Goldust versus Maven for the World Wrestling Federation Hardcore Champion. Well, I can't say the match was fine. Like, it wasn't bad or anything when it comes to these two fighting each other. Like, duking it out, hitting each other with trash cans back and forth, blah, blah this, blah, blah that. But I would say this match was fucking ruined because Spike Dudley came out of nowhere after both Maven and Goldust knocked each other out, pins Goldust to become the hardcore champion, while everybody else, on the other hand, like, chasing after him. So yeah, as far as this match goes, it could have been 10 out of 10 with both of these individuals only, but since Spike Dudley got involved and ruined the match, I'm sorry, I might as well give this a 1 out of 10. Yeah, 1 out of 10. On to the next. Alright, before the next match even began, we also had another performance by Drowning Pool, which they performed their new hit song, Tearaway, which focused on the perspective of both Jericho and Triple H, which I will talk about the match later on in the video. But their performances was amazing. So 10 out of 10 for Drowning Pool. Rest in peace, Dave Williams. Oh yeah, the backstage brawl for the hardcore champion, to where Spike Dudley lose to the Hurricane. I would say I'll just give it a 1 out of 10. Kurt Angle versus Kane. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Big Red Machine versus the Big Red, White, and Blue Machine. Well, before the match even started, Kurt Angle does his typical go in the ring, does a little promo, blah, blah, blah. But then Kane Kane with the stage explosion, and then walks up to the ring. But then Kurt Angle performed the post-match assault after Kane does his typical have his two hands up and then down and then cause the ring post to explode and stuff. So yeah, the match going on and on and on. Kane did put a lot of effort, tried to put down Kurt Angle. Yeah, but towards the end of the match, Kurt Angle outsmarted the Big Red Machine with a sneaky pin and wins the match. So yeah, Kane couldn't believe it either. So he got so mad, like he flicked the hair back, and then the cameraman was like close to him and stuff. Like, yeah, when I first watched it, it was scary. Yeah, Kane was one scary motherfucker back then. Yep. But I'll give this match a 10 out of 10 because I have tons of respect for these two, especially Kane. Yep, so 10 out of 10. Well, before the next match even started, we came across the Hurricane trying to hide while Godfather trying to play pimp mode, to impress all the ladies. But the Hurricane acting like the broom is his dick, so he acting like, yeah, pause, no homo on that one. He just pretending that he got a boner and shit. But then when the ladies spot him, because the Hurricane was too stupid to hide somewhere to where he can't get caught, Godfather almost beat the shit out of him, but Hurricane escaped. Well, that was a backstage moment. So, next match, for real this time. Undertaker versus Ric Flair. All right, now this match right here is just personal. So yeah, how did this beef started, you may ask? Well, let's take you back to No Way Out back in 2002. Undertaker was fighting The Rock. So yeah, Undertaker had The Rock beat until Ric Flair out of nowhere hits Undertaker with a steel pipe. Yeah, that caused Undertaker to lose against The Rock at No Way Out back in 2002. So, Undertaker, like the night after, called him out and stuff, like challenging Ric Flair to a match and stuff like that. Ric Flair declined and said no. So, what did Undertaker do? Did he say, okay, have a nice day and stuff like that? Nope. He beats up one of Ric Flair's closest friend. He beats up Art Anderson, Ric Flair, from Four Horsemen. So, yeah. Which is Ric Flair's closest friends. Yeah. Beats him up to a bloody pulp. And then, the worst of all, Undertaker was beating up Ric Flair's son, David. So, that what got Ric Flair's attention to where he accept Undertaker's challenge at WrestleMania, to where they got themselves a fight. Ric Flair accidentally hits a fan, even though he was aiming for the Undertaker, gets arrested. Undertaker savagely looked as Ric Flair getting arrested. But then with Vince McMahon and even Linda McMahon, they tell Ric Flair, are you sure you want this match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania? And Ric Flair says yes. So Vince McMahon decided to book the match between Undertaker and Ric Flair in a no disqualification match. So yeah, on to the match at WrestleMania 18. Undertaker drives his motorcycle to the ring like a savage that he is. Keep in mind, this is the Undertaker that I grew up with. So, yeah. Okay, on to the match. So, Ric Flair comes. Oh man, I'm so high. I'm so high. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. So yeah, the fight is on. Ric Flair was the first to bleed, so let's just say Ric Flair had the ass kicking of a lifetime. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he was fighting back against The Undertaker, and then he had a little bit of help by Art Anderson from Four Horsemen. But towards the end of the match, Undertaker beats Ric Flair, which requires him to be 10-0 at WrestleMania. So, yeah. So, 10th WrestleMania win in a row. So, yep. Next, Edge versus Booker T. All right, Edge versus Booker T. Now, I am going to tell you, this rivalry is kind of stupid because, in my opinion, because how did this rivalry beef started? You may ask. Well, I'll tell you. It all started over a shampoo commercial. Yeah, shampoo. It's stupid. Which it is, over something that's really not that serious. Okay, so on to the match itself. Keep in mind, this is Edge's hometown, Toronto, Canada. So, Alright, so fight after fight, blah, blah, blah. Booker T does the typical spinneroonie. Then Edge started doing the spinneroonie and did it perfectly. And by the end of the match, Edge won. Yeah, of course, plot armor by Vince McMahon. So, yeah. Yep, Edge won at his hometown. So not only he won his hometown, he also won the match. So, yep. But the rivalry over a shampoo commercial is just stupid to me. So, next. Before the next match started, meanwhile, with the Hurricane, doing a interview along with Molly Holly, because she was dressing up as a superhero too. But yeah, she was dressing up as a superhero too. So the Hurricane, basically, he got set up by Molly Holly. So knocked him out with a frying pan. Knocked him out with a frying pan. Pins the Hurricane 1, 2, 3 to where she won the hardcore title. Yeah, Hurricane got caught slipping and lacking by his own ally. That's a female. Now that's hilarious. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Scott Hall. Ah, yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Scott Hall. Well, how did this beef / rivalry started? Well, it all started at No Way Out back in 2002 when Stone Cold Steve Austin was fighting Chris Jericho for the Undisputed Champion. Like, to be honest with you, Stone Cold Steve Austin had Jericho beat until the NWO out of nowhere beat Stone Cold Steve Austin up while the referee wasn't looking. So, yeah, even after the match that Jericho survived, the NWO started attacking Stone Cold Steve Austin, spray paint on his back, and then that was that. But on an episode of Monday Night Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin called all 3 members of the NWO out, which they came. They only just stand there while Stone Cold does his awesome promos. But they just walked away. And Stone Cold didn't like that at all. You know how Stone Cold be when it comes to cowards. But on the episode of SmackDown, Stone Cold Steve Austin kidnapped Scott Hall. And, toying around with Scott Hall. Stunner after stunner. Beer drink after another stunner. So, yeah. Then, well, basically, bottom line, Stone Cold Steve Austin embarrassed Scott Hall. So, Scott Hall didn't like to be embarrassed, so beats up Stone Cold Steve Austin to a bloody pulp. Had a brick or whatever, and then damaged his leg along with the steel steps, which that is painful. That was 100% painful. And yeah. So, on to the match itself. Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin enters the ring, while Scott Hall, on the other hand, does his typical NWO pose until he brought Kevin Nash along. Even though Scott Hall himself said he wants to fight him one-on-one. But instead, he brought out Kevin Nash to back him up, just in case. So, fight after fight, referee tried to get Kevin Nash to do not enter the ring, but Kevin Nash just ignores the referee and punches him in the face. But Stone Cold Steve Austin handled both Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. So, yeah. And the way Scott Hall got stunned was legendary. And I mean, it was legendary. Stone Cold Steve Austin pins him with the 1, 2, 3 count, and Stone Cold wins. So yeah. And then after Stone Cold's victory, he asked for more beer and started drinking it. So, alright, so, okay. I'm gonna give this match a 10 out of 10. And oh yeah, Undertaker, no. Edge and Booker T, though. I should have did a ranking on that earlier, but I'm gonna rank Edge and Booker T, well, a 10 out of 10, just because it's Edge's hometown and stuff. So, but this match right here, 10 out of 10 as well. So, next. Oh yeah, backstage. Molly Holly with the hardcore title running, and until she got slammed by a door, which it revealed as Christian. Yeah, Christian almost killed the bitch with a door. So, pins Molly Holly, and then he becomes the hardcore champion. Okay, good to know. Tag team elimination match. Alrighty then. The 4-corner elimination tag team match, which Billy and Chuck had to defend their tag team titles against the APA, Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys. Alrighty. So, first the Dudley Boys came out to the stage first, which Saliva was performing their hit song, Get the Tables, which I have to admit, it was so cool. And of course, the Dudley Boys had to bring out Stacy Keibler. Yeah, she was shaking her ass and shit. Oh, man. But you have to admit, their performance was cold. That performance was so cool. No cap. So, the APA came out second, then the Hardy Boys, and then Billy and Chuck. Alright, so on to the match. Hit after hit, struggle after struggle, until APA was the first to get eliminated. Yep, they were the first to get eliminated. So it was now the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, and Billy and Chuck. So while Stacy Keibler was trying to distract Jeff Hardy by oh my god, this is like hilarious. Stacy Keibler was like shaking her ass and shit. But Jeff Hardy, he literally tapped that ass. Like, damn, Jeff Hardy tapped that ass before Stacy Keibler's actual husband impregnated her. Wow, that's harsh. I know. But the Dudley Boys got eliminated. It's not like the over the top rope thing. It's just once you get pinned, if one individual get pinned, then the whole team gets eliminated. So that's how it works. So now it's up to the Hardy Boys and Billy and Chuck. So, well, towards the end of the match, Billy and Chuck cheated to win and keep the tag team titles. So, not a bad match. So I will say 7 out of 10. Next, The Rock versus Hollywood, Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah, that's right. Icon versus icon. Oh yeah, I don't even know where to start. Actually, I do know where to start. Well, I'll tell you a little bit of the story. It all started when Hollywood Hulk Hogan say to the fans that the fans turned on him, blah, blah this, blah, blah that. But then The Rock came and tried to reason with Hulk Hogan by saying the fans love him. They believe in him. Even The Rock believes in Hulk Hogan. So, tried to reason with him. Quite frankly, Hulk Hogan wasn't feeling it or anything. But he did get rock bottomed by The Rock. Yep. By accepting The Rock's challenge at WrestleMania 18. The fans jump for joy. And then The Rock gets his ass kicked by Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Then Hollywood Hulk Hogan hits The Rock with a hammer. Hits him by the neck. With a damn hammer. Yeah, that could have killed him. So The Rock was basically rushed to the hospital until Hollywood Hulk Hogan was driving an 18-wheeler truck and then dashed through the hospital, dashed through the ambulance while The Rock was inside of it. So yeah, The Rock survives this. But, alright, on to the match. Wow. Before the match even started, they did their typical face-off. Then they looked at the fans left and right, and even towards the middle. So, hit after hit, legendary moves after another legendary moves. Hollywood Hulk Hogan hits The Rock with a leg drop. 1, 2, then The Rock kicked out. Shockingly. So, towards the end of the match, The Rock hits Hulk Hogan with a rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. Then The Rock wins. So, what? Did Hollywood Hulk Hogan attack The Rock after The Rock winning? The answer is no. So, Hulk Hogan was going to shake The Rock's hand. And The Rock... The Rock and Hulk Hogan shook hands as a sign of sportsmanship. But Kevin Nash and Scott Hall didn't like what Hulk Hogan was doing, so they beat the shit out of him. But The Rock came to Hulk Hogan's aid and then made both Kevin Nash and Scott Hall fuck off. So Hulk Hogan was back to his true self again. Well, I would say full potential again. So let's just say that was the greatest WrestleMania moment ever. So 10 out of 10, next match. Women's triple threat match. All right, the triple threat match for the women's title. Lita, Jazz, and Trish Stratus. Well, fight after fight. Signatures after signatures. People thought Jazz was going to lose, but towards the end of the match, she remained supreme. Outsmarted both Lita and Trish. So, I would say, actually, I know what everybody was about to say. Is the match bad? The answer is no. So, I'm giving this match a 10 out of 10. Because all three of these ladies are fine as fuck. Yep, they fine as fuck. So, on to the last match. Well, before the last match happened, Christian was about to leave out the Sky Dome Arena with the hardcore title, bragging about how good he is and all that other stuff until he got caught lacking by Maven. Rolled him over with the pin. 1, 2, 3. Maven got his title back to where he got in the limo quickly as possible and left. So basically, in the words of R-Truth, he got his baby back. And then Christian, on the other hand, throwing a temper tantrum. Yep, a grown-ass man throwing a temper tantrum. Yet again. Chris Jericho versus Triple H. Oh yeah, one of my favorite matches of all time, ever since childhood. Chris Jericho versus Triple H for the Undisputed Championship. Oh my God. Fuck yeah. Okay, let's start with the story. How did the beef started for the second time in a row? Yeah, remind you, this is the second pay-per-view in a row of Chris Jericho and Triple H fighting each other, with the other being fully loaded in 2000 in the Last Man Standing match. Let's talk about the story. The story started off for the second time, like it started off back in No Way Out 2000, back when Triple H and Stephanie McMahon had marriage issues. So back in No Way Out 2002, Triple H was fighting Kurt Angle in a number one contender match, which Kurt Angle won because Stephanie McMahon was basically distracting Triple H. So yeah, that should have been a triple threat match. Should have been Kurt Angle versus Jericho versus Triple H. But Vince McMahon plot armor, it ain't gonna happen. So Triple H competed in a number one contender match again with Kurt Angle, this time without Stephanie McMahon being a special guest referee. And Triple H won. So what really started it off with Triple H's dog Lucy. Triple H's dog Lucy takes a dump on Stephanie McMahon's floor. Jericho smelled it and everything else. So Jericho said he was gonna take Lucy for a walk, but instead of taking Lucy for a walk, Jericho just ties the dog, put the dog on the leash, and then ties the leash on the door to a limo to where Jericho thought he was going to leave. Well, tricked the limo driver that he was going to leave until, like, when the limo put in reverse while the dog was under the limo, boom, Lucy got injured. Yeah. But then Jericho's stupid ass was like I think you need to check that out, Junior. Yeah, Jericho was one stupid motherfucker back then. Yep. And it pissed off Triple H real quick. So Stephanie McMahon was going to the ring and then saying to Triple H, I didn't mean to hurt your dog. I know how much you love Lucy, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. So she's capping. So Triple H ain't falling for that. So Triple H grabs Stephanie McMahon by the hair and then attempts to put Stephanie McMahon through a pedigree until Jericho out of nowhere hits Triple H with a sledgehammer on the quad. Yeah, on the back of the leg that the doctors had replaced. Because remind you, Triple H tore his quad to where he was out of action for 9 months. And then he returned to the Royal Rumble to become the 2002 Royal Rumble winner. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Jericho hits Triple H in the back of the leg with a sledgehammer, which injured Triple H. And then ran him over like a dog again. Yep, Jericho ran Triple H like a dog again. So, on an episode of SmackDown, confrontation after another confrontation until Stephanie McMahon kicks Triple H in the back of the leg, but Triple H wasn't even hurt after that. So Triple H attempts to grab Stephanie McMahon by the hair again to where he was going to pedigree his own wife through the announce table until Jericho comes to the aid of Stephanie right on time, hits Triple H with the title, and then puts Triple H in the walls of Jericho on top of the announce table. Yep. All right, so on to the match itself. Drowning Pool performs their hit, The Game / Here Comes the Pain, which Brock Lesnar is truly influenced by that. And fun fact, he debuted the night after WrestleMania 18. But enough about Brock Lesnar. So anyway, they perform Drowning Pool perform a hit song, Here Comes the Pain / The Game. So Triple H marched into the ring with style. And then after that kick-ass performance, Jericho comes and then does his typical pose and then spin them titles to where he will be facing forward. And then Stephanie came with a blue dress. So yeah, I think it was blue, light blue. So hit after hit, signature after signature. Jericho literally had Triple H beat, but he was too damn distracted by he distracted himself by saving Stephanie McMahon, but Triple H finally hits Stephanie McMahon with a pedigree. Jericho hits Triple H with a chair while the referee was not looking. As soon as Jericho was about to be on the top rope and then do another drop kick, Triple H reversed it with a pedigree, which knocked Jericho out. So 1, 2, 3, Triple H not only won and beat Jericho, he also became the second individual to become undisputed champion. Because remind you, Jericho was the first by beating both The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. But that will be another story / pay-per-view for another day. So, yep, Triple H becomes the second individual in the history books to become undisputed champion. So, if Jericho wasn't distracted by Stephanie McMahon and focused on beating Triple H, he would still be undisputed champion, let alone the longest reigning champion of all time. But that's not the case. 10 out of 10 for this match. Then they start doing reuse shots throughout every match I just reviewed and rank. I would say that's just lazy. That's because it's not. In conclusion ranking, 10 out of 10.